In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, my guest is Nathan Tyler, a technical founder with more than 20 years building web agencies and software businesses, and over 15 years as a startup founder and CEO. Nathan founded Blinkmetrics, built Staging Pilot, and led its acquisition by Pantheon. And today, he runs N Squared. He's designed internal systems now used by Fortune 250 companies. Nathan, let's dig into how engineering first product thinking changes marketing, growth, and at operational scale. Nathan, thanks so much for taking time to have a conversation with me.
Of course, great to be here.
Did I get your bio right?
Yeah. Done too many things.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's good to see that you're still working after all those startups and exits.
Yeah. Can't help myself.
Well, that's good. Man's got to have a project. We know that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good. Let's see. I'm wondering, since you've led both agencies and product companies, when you move from the agency model to product-led businesses, how do you approach your customer acquisition and life cycle management?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like I started an agency world, and you're always getting kind of requests and referrals, and you need more work. You just kind of lower the price a bit, and go aggressively chase that next project. But when you go to a pure product model, you don't really have that flexibility. You kind of have to establish that marketing channel. For me, my first few products were WordPress plugins. So it's kind of the freemium model. You have a free version, you have a paid version, low price points, like $99 a year is a pretty standard price point. And, you don't have that flexibility. You can't just kind of adjust it for each project or each client coming in. So definitely different. I think it's more of like a long-term and consistency approach and trying to get traffic to your site through various means. But I would say the feedback is so much slower. Like everything that you do to establish a channel, it's set up, like the product that I built 10 years ago now has its channels and it's reliable, but day to day it can be really challenging.
So because you're like, let's just get 10 users, right? And then you're like, okay, let's get 100 users, and then you're like, let's get 1,000 users. And how many channels does it take to get in those 10x stages from your experience?
In my experience, it really does just come down to like one or two, and it's just optimizing those channels. I've yet to have a business or know anybody that has a business that has a nice portfolio of a dozen channels for their marketing. It's usually one is like 100% or 70%, and then there's maybe another one or two that have a little bit, but it's not usually that diversified is what I've
got you. Yeah. And so the work that you're doing with Blinkmetrics right now, which is these custom dashboards, is that like a LinkedIn only play, or are you finding people in Reddit threads, or how are you getting referrals for those clients?
Yeah. So it is. There's definitely like a first and second degree network. People that I kind of know, which I don't know if that's a real channel or not. But in terms of a marketing channel, we do a lot with integrations. We integrate with a lot of platforms. Like pretty much any SaaS tool you use, reporting probably is terrible, right? Like people complain about the reports in every tool. And so each of those is an opportunity for us, both to rank organically and also just to get referrals from, usually there's a marketplace, right? So if we integrate with HubSpot CRM or Pipedrive CRM, they have their marketplace of integrations, and we're one of those. So
Gotcha.
integration marketing is probably one of the main channels. And then we also use referral partners quite a bit, because often we pair very well with like a fractional consultant, a fractional operations or fractional marketing, or somebody who's in a business doing a bunch of like the high touch work to help make some change inside an organization, also needs some reporting and clarity as to what's going on and how to show that they are improving things. And so we're a really good partner in those cases. So I would say most of our customers come through either an integration with an existing tool or through our partner network.
I love it. Yeah. So you got referrals. Just picking up like people request to get to be in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a process to go through the approval process with these different tools. So we're always, we have a couple in progress now, right? We're trying to get into the Go High Level marketplace, which will be a big one for us because we have customers that are there, but we're not yet listed in their marketplace.
Interesting. I got a referral for you too, because I Go High Level agency works with business brokers, so I'll connect you guys together after the show.
All right.
So let's see. You're all done for you. For you build you.
So yeah, I think it broke up a little bit for me on my end, but I think your focus or your question was that we're focused on
you, and I'm on any SaaS versions of this that.
Yes. Yeah. So we do the done for you model because nobody has time to learn another tool. And, we have a really tight 30-day process where we can deliver a dashboard, but we do see repeating patterns, right? Like, especially when it's around a certain tool, we have a lot of deep reporting around WooCommerce or Shopify, for example. And, those customers are very similar. And it gets to the point where, those 30-day processes are even shorter than that because it's almost the same thing in these cases. And so we are building a fully productized version of that where maybe you don't have to talk to anybody. You just say, I want these 8 reports, and you go through a setup wizard and you get it. And that would be a pure SaaS model. So we're working towards that in those cases where we find ourselves doing the exact same thing 5 times in a row. That's a perfect case for us to productize it.
Interesting. So it'd be use case by use case. You'll end up with your own marketplace, I guess, at that point.
Yeah. Yes, because as I said, like the reporting is never a focus of any of these tools. Like Go High Level, great tool, can do so much, but reporting, no company ever focuses on reporting, and it's hard to get right, and everybody wants something different, and so there's lots of opportunities everywhere to kind of piggyback onto good, solid products that just need better reporting.
Nice. And then so obviously, how is proliferation impacted what you guys are doing in your dev times?
Yeah, in the build process, like it's very helpful, especially for prototyping or working with a new API. That process of like starting to work with a new API and kicking the tires and getting some basic thing working is much faster. So we use AI internally, for our own efficiency in doing these rapid build outs. And then we're also baking AI into the product. So if you have a custom reporting dashboard, there's a ton of great opportunities. Like if we build an e-commerce dashboard that shows you different things, and you filter, and maybe you find a product that got a bunch of refunds or something, you can, ask AI about a question, and we can make the richest prompt in the world because we have all of that data already. So we can seed that prompt with all of the detailed data, and you can ask a question about, hey, you see a number go red on your dashboard. You can ask why, or what should I do about it, or go look into the details of these orders and this customer history, and we can do all of that. So AI is definitely really changing what we offer, which is reporting and visibility, to also helping you take action and do something about it in your business, which is a huge change.
And then what about in your day work? How what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's really helpful in building out landing pages for analyzing. If we get a bunch of interviews, we'll do customer interviews with people who are frustrated with reporting in a certain tool. So to synthesize, 12 conversations that we have with people about the challenges they have with reporting and go high level, for example, right? We can turn that into um, a nice consolidated list, which is something we would have done anyway, but slowly and by hand and kind of relying on our memories. It's really good at synthesizing that kind of data. So that's been a huge help for me personally.
Are kind of the consistent people are looking at building dashboards for? I mean, what's kind of on the consistent tick list for you?
Yeah, it depends a little bit what department kind of or area they're focused on, because sometimes we're working with like a general manager kind of operations of the whole company, and they want those 5 KPIs from each department to keep a pulse. We also work with sales managers who are dealing with 3 or 4 salespeople and trying to
Mhm.
do very specific reporting around sales. So like in Go High Level, they may want to know the number of calls each person has made, and the number of proposals they've sent, and the number of deals they've closed. And it could get kind of granular, or it might be that general manager who just really wants to see 5 numbers from each department and know where things are going wrong. So we kind of help people figure that out if they don't know, and we have a bunch of templates and say, you're using these 3 or 4 tools, you're ahead of sales, you're ahead of marketing, like this is a good starting point. And that usually is how we kind of get people through that without turning it into a paralyzing process.
That makes sense. What do you do when there's not a direct API into a place that needs to get reported on?
Yeah, so we have a number of workarounds. I mean, primarily we are focused on things that do have APIs, and we have integrations with 100 of these tools that we've built these integrations already. But there's always some system that doesn't have that, so we can deal with CSV exports and Google Sheets. Sometimes there's a way to push it into a Google Sheet or use a Zapier Zap or something to get it into a place where we can consume it. We can also connect directly to databases. So some companies will have their own MySQL database or their own proprietary thing. So we have 4 or 5 different ways that we can get at that messy data. Usually that's a short-term thing. Hopefully they're working towards something that can be used in an API, but yeah, we do have ways.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have some clients that they're working with software that's industry specific that can only output a PDF, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're screenshotting a PDF and then running that through something in order to interpret it and then acting from there.
Yeah, that would probably be an example of something that we would probably say we shouldn't do. That we do run into that. There's we're not a very good fit for restaurants, for example, because they famously have all these closed point of sale systems where the sales rep is selling them this, that, and everything, and there's no. It's like a walled garden where there's nothing outside.
Yeah.
So it is not a good fit in those situations. But there are like manufacturing or other ones where there are these kind of old clunky tools, but you can export a spreadsheet report, and those are fine because they have a marketing site. They might be selling their stuff on Shopify. They buying Google ads. Everything else we can automate. And then there's something where once a week they go export this report and we ingest it.
Oh yeah, I got you. So there's still a little bit of a manual process in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I got you. Well, what is new for 26 for you guys? What's on the product roadmap?
Yeah, it's really going deep into AI and using kind of what I was describing before. Like we're doing some cool stuff with all of our different integrations where the AI can really help you figure out what to do next or why something has gone red on your dashboard.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're doing one with a customer support tool where, email support help scout is the tool like Zendesk where people are typing tickets in. and I can see in the dashboard, hey, Emmanuel's like emailed us 80 times and like this is costing us all the support time. And then you can just click on that thread and say, what happened here? I see there was 80 replies. Like, what what happened in this conversation? How could our customer service rep have maybe avoided some issues? Let's look at a report of all the negative reviews we got about our support and just ask AI to see, is there a pattern? Is it always the same sales rep? Like, what are these customers angry about? Right. And then it can sift through hundreds of conversations and email threads and give you that insight. It's driven by the dashboard. The dashboard gives you the awareness and the visibility to see it, and have AI go deep and actually start investigating and resolving for you.
Wow, that's cool. And that it's all driven from the report, but then you can click in and get more detail. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the other thing I'm interested to know is like what are people missing about their reporting and dashboarding? Like what's kind of like the biggest thing that you're seeing that you're just like, come on, people.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I see is that small businesses kind of kidding themselves and thinking that they're too small for data. There's kind of this, it's a little overwhelming for people, so they just kind of avoid it. I think the most common thing that I see where I have that reaction is people say like, oh, we're not ready for data yet. We don't really have data, because they think, data is like Netflix and big data and 5 billion views. But it's like every small business is sitting on mountains of this data, like your Calendly account, your Google Analytics account, your Shopify, like all of this stuff is generating data constantly. You have emails, you have all of these things that you use every day. And most businesses just ignore all of it because it's too overwhelming. You got to run your business. You can't afford to spend 6 hours, diving into your analytics, which I get.
Yeah.
But, and also the same people who tell me, oh, we don't have any data thing. If you ask, hey, like, what kind of spreadsheets do you have? They open up their Google Sheets and it had something where they've copy pasted the number of, viewers on, YouTube and the number of watch time on YouTube, and they're copy pasting things in. They do have data. And when push comes to shove, that's the only way that a small business with less than 100 employees who doesn't have a data scientist on staff, that everybody uses spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And so there's always a little bit of a mental leap where I'm having these conversations, but then there's that light bulb moment where they show this spreadsheet. I'm like, well, we could automate that entire spreadsheet and give you tons more insight, and not, you would just have to check this with your morning coffee and check this every month when you close out the month. So that's that gap that I think a lot of people are just not used to thinking of data as a not scary thing, but they are actually dealing with it every day.
Yeah, that's interesting. And especially when you talk about all these different little pools like Google Analytics, Google Console, QuickBooks, email, like that's enough right there to build some intelligence, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, for some business owners, like maybe it's not, they don't have millions of data points, but they just want that snapshot, like at the end of the month, to see, kind of their whole business as a funnel, like from top to bottom, like how many people are visiting the site, how many people are filling out my form, how many people are, am I sending invoices out? How many invoices do I have past due? Like, they want that snapshot of just like, what the heck is going on? I don't want to be surprised by some explosion that I discover a month too late. It's really easy to prevent that if you have a tool that you can just pull up and look at each morning.
Well, I love it. That is, it's powerful to have the information in the data lake, and even more powerful to have it on your screen to be able to use it to make decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Nathan, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they have a conversation with you?
Sure. If you go to blinkmetrics.com, we have scheduling links right there, and we can schedule a half hour. Even if Blinkmetrics is not a fit, right away, I love talking about data and working with small businesses, and maybe you'll just emerge from that with a better idea of maybe what you want to measure, or if you're using one of these tools, I know all the edges and corners of all these tools and their gaps in reporting. So happy to chat.
All right. Well, I'm very grateful for your time today. Thanks for for having some time for me to talk about data and reporting.
All right. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Nathan. You have a good day. Well, there it is. No matter how small the business is or the business unit, there's data in it that can be extricated and turned into a report so that you can make better decisions. I hope you get in touch with Nathan at Blink Metrics. I hope that you spend some time with ChatGPT or another one of the LLMs, working to get some time back in your work week. And with that time, you continue to upskill, that you spend it with your friends and family, and that you get outside into nature away from the screens. This is Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.